All right, fight fans, buckle up because we are diving deep into UFC Tampa, specifically all the crazy action we saw this past Saturday. I mean, wow, talk about a night of knockouts and upsets.
Yeah, it was a wild one for sure. Some seriously unexpected results.
Yeah.
Even for someone like me who's been following the sport for
I
years.
know, right? Like, who had Joaquin Buckley finishing Colby Covington? I mean, Covington was a heavy favorite going into this one, a former interim welterweight champ, and Buckley was the underdog.
Definitely a huge upset. Nobody saw that coming.
And it wasn't just any win, it was a TKO via doctor stoppage because of a nasty cut on Covington. Had to have been a brutal fight.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. Buckley had to really prove himself in that one. To go toe-to-toe with a guy like Covington and come out on top, that says a lot.
Absolutely. I think this win really elevates Buckley in the welterweight division. Got to keep an eye on him now.
Yeah, I think he just put the entire division on notice.
All right, speaking of impressive wins, how about Cub Swanson? Hall of Famer, right? Lands a walk-off knockout in round 3 against Billy Quarantillo.
I mean, that was vintage Cub Swanson right there. Back and forth fight, then bam, lights out.
I was on the edge of my seat for that one. Didn't see that knockout coming at all.
And remember, Swanson had been hinting at retirement.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Do you think this win changes things?
It's got to at least make him think twice, right? To come back with a performance like that, I mean, maybe there's still some gas left in the tank.
Would be awesome to see him keep going. Okay, ready for a crazy story.
Always.
Manel Kape versus Bruno Silva. This was nuts. Silva lands like 3 illegal low blows on Kape.
All right, 3.
The ref deducted a point, but you could see Cake was hurting bad.
Talk about adversity. I mean, how do you even come back from that?
But he did. Cape ends up winning by TKO in the third. What a performance.
Some serious toughness and resilience right there. Yeah. I mean, most fighters would have crumbled after those low blows, but Kepe, he just dug deeper.
And even called for a title shot afterwards. Talk about making a statement.
Right. Like, I'm here, I'm ready.
Speaking of making statements, how about Mike Petrino? The crowd was chanting boring during his fight.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Everyone thought it was going to decision.
Then Jacoby just KOs him out of nowhere.
Crowd went wild. Talk about turning the tables in an instant.
Just proves you can never count anyone out in the sport. You know, it feels like we're seeing a lot more knockouts these days.
I've been thinking the same thing. It's like every event is just packed with KOs.
Right. Like
Yeah.
Johnson absolutely destroyed Icitar. Another brutal KO.
And then Alvarez taking out close. First round, just like that.
I think these fighters are just getting more and more powerful. The level of athleticism is off the charts.
Agreed. It's like they're all coming in with knockout power now.
Makes for some exciting fights, that's for sure. And we can't forget about Woodson's TKO against Padilla right before the bell.
Oh, man. Talk about a last-minute finish. Crazy, crazy stuff.
UFC Tampa definitely lived up to the hype, and it leaves me wondering, is this a trend? Are we seeing a shift towards more knockouts in the sport?
It's a good question, and honestly, I'm not sure. Could be the matchmaking, could be the evolution of training methods, maybe even just a bit of luck.
I guess we'll have to keep watching and see. But for now, I think it's safe to say that UFC Tampa was one for the books.
Definitely one I won't soon forget, that's for sure. It's definitely something I've noticed too. I mean, are we entering like a new era of knockouts? Or was this event just a bit of an anomaly?
It makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Because the way fighters train now, they're so focused on power and explosiveness, I feel like it's almost inevitable.
And yeah, why not go for the quick finish? I mean, have you seen some of the judging lately?
Oh yeah, some of those decisions are head scratchers for sure.
Exactly. So if you can end it early, why leave it in the judge's hands?
Speaking of decisions, I gotta ask about Marcos versus Yanez.
Oh yeah, that one was close. Split
Mhm.
decision, right?
Yeah, and I've seen some debate online about who really won.
Oh, I'm sure. That was a tough one to call. Yanez landed some big shots, but Marcos kept taking them down.
It was that classic striker versus grappler matchup. Always makes for an interesting fight.
Totally. Makes you wonder if Yanez needs to work on his takedown defense, though.
If he wants to compete at the top level, probably, yeah. Can't just rely on striking power.
Exactly. Got to be well-rounded these days. Like Brad Riddell, for instance.
Oh, yeah. He looked fantastic against Dober.
Right. Dober's known for his knockouts, but Riddell just shut him down completely.
That was a masterclass in strategy and control.
Totally agree. Didn't get drawn into a brawl, stuck to his game plan, and walked away with a unanimous decision.
Those are the kind of performances that really impress me. It's like a chess match out there.
Absolutely. You got to be thinking several moves ahead, anticipating your opponent's every move.
And it's not just about the mental game either. You have to have the heart to keep going.
Oh, for sure. These fighters take so much punishment, but they just keep coming forward.
It's inspiring, honestly. Talk about pushing your limits, both physically and mentally.